Welcome back to Integrity444 LTQS/EFV. I'm Coach Christian. This is part 2 of the Counselor Series teaching, Why Self-Awareness Hurts Before It Heals. In part 1, we talked about this truth. Self-awareness hurts before it heals because it interrupts denial. We talked about how denial is not always stupidity. Sometimes denial was survival. Sometimes denial helped you function. Sometimes denial helped you keep moving until your system had enough language, strength, support, and safety to face what was really happening. But once awareness arrives, you cannot fully unsee what you now see. And when truth enters the room, the next danger is this. You may start using awareness to attack yourself. That is why part 2 is called Shame versus Conviction. Because if you do not know the difference, self-awareness can turn into self-condemnation. And that is not healing. That is not maturity. That is not emotional intelligence. That is just another wound wearing the language of truth. So I want you to hold this line. Shame attacks identity. Conviction corrects direction. Shame attacks identity. Conviction corrects direction. Section 1. Awareness can become a weapon if you are not careful. When you become self-aware, you may start replaying your choices. You may ask, how did I not see this? Why did I stay so long? Why did I keep explaining? Why did I ignore my body? Why did I tolerate that? Why did I believe the apology again? Why did I keep hoping potential would become evidence? Why did I abandon myself to keep peace? Those questions can be useful, but only if they are asked with maturity. If you ask those questions with shame, they become weapons. They begin to sound like, I am stupid, I am weak, I am broken, I cannot trust myself, I wasted my life, something is wrong with me. But the counselor does not use awareness to destroy your identity. The counselor uses awareness to correct your direction. That is the difference. Self-awareness is supposed to make you more honest, not more hateful toward yourself. Self-awareness is supposed to help you mature, not collapse. Self-awareness is supposed to help you choose differently, not punish yourself forever for what you did not know. Section 2. Shame says something is wrong with me. Shame says, something is wrong with me. Shame makes the wound personal at the identity level. It does not say, I made a choice that needs correction. It says, I am the problem. It does not say, I missed a pattern. It says, I am foolish. It does not say, I need to learn a new boundary. It says, I am weak. It does not say, I was surviving with limited tools. It says, I should hate myself for surviving that way. Shame does not produce maturity. Shame produces hiding. Shame makes you withdraw from truth because truth starts feeling unsafe. Shame says, if I look honestly at what happened, I will have to hate myself. So you avoid reflection. You avoid the pattern. You avoid responsibility. You avoid the lesson. Not because you do not care, but because shame has made truth feel like punishment. That is why we have to separate truth from self-attack. You can tell the truth without destroying yourself. You can name your participation without condemning your identity. You can admit where you ignored the signal without calling yourself worthless. You can say, I see where I over-explained. I see where I abandoned myself. I see where I kept giving access. I see where I was afraid to choose differently, and still say, I am worthy of growth. I am worthy of healing. I am worthy of learning. I am worthy of building a new pattern. That is emotional maturity. Section 3. Conviction says something needs to change. Conviction is different. Conviction says something needs to change. Conviction does not attack your identity. Conviction corrects your direction. Conviction says, I ignored a pattern and now I can choose differently. I stayed silent and now I can practice truth. I over-explained and now I can build a boundary. I chased validation and now I can return to self-trust. I tolerated confusion, and now I can choose clarity. I gave access too quickly, and now I can move with discernment. Conviction is firm, but it is not cruel. Conviction has responsibility without self-hatred. Conviction says, I am accountable for my next choice. Not, I am condemned for my past survival. That is the difference. The counselor path requires conviction, not shame. Because growth requires responsibility. But responsibility cannot mature when shame is attacking the self. If shame is driving, you may change for a moment, but the change is rooted in fear. If conviction is leading, you change because truth has become clear. That is sustainable. That is mature. That is aligned. Section 4. The difference in the inner voice. You can often tell whether shame or conviction is leading by listening to your inner voice. Shame sounds like, how could you be so stupid? You always mess things up. You should have known better. You are too damaged. You cannot trust yourself. You are the reason this happened. Conviction sounds like, this pattern cost me something. I need to tell the truth. I need to choose differently now. I need a boundary. I need support. I need structure. I need to stop calling this normal. I can learn from this without hating myself. That last line matters. I can learn from this without hating myself. That is the counselor path. Because if every lesson requires self-hatred, eventually you will stop learning. But if truth is held with maturity, you can face more reality without collapsing. You can say, this hurt, this happened, this pattern repeated, this choice cost me, this response came from fear, this behavior needs to change, and I am still worthy of healing. That is how awareness becomes growth. Section 5. Self-awareness without shame. Self-awareness without shame means you can look at your life honestly and remain on your own side. Not in denial, not in excuse-making, not in victim posture, but in mature self-leadership. You can say, I did not know then what I know now, but now that I know, I am responsible for what I do next. You can say, I had reasons for my survival responses, but I do not have to keep living from them. You can say, I understand why I tolerated that, but understanding does not mean continuing. You can say, I was afraid to lose access, but now I am learning that access without responsibility is not love. You can say, I kept choosing false peace, but now I am learning that peace without truth becomes pressure. This is not self-attack. This is maturity. This is what it looks like when conviction corrects direction. The counselor does not ask you to shame the old version of you. The counselor asks you to stop letting the old version make every new decision. Section 6. Why shame keeps people in the pattern. Shame often keeps people stuck in the same pattern because shame says, you are already broken, so why try? You already failed, so why rebuild? You already stayed too long, so why trust yourself now? You already ignored the signs, so why believe your discernment now? Shame attacks the part of you that needs strength to choose differently. That is why shame is dangerous. It drains the energy required for change. Conviction does the opposite. Conviction gives you direction. Conviction says, this is the lesson, this is the boundary, this is the new choice, this is the next step, this is the structure. Conviction gives your growth a path. Shame gives your pain a prison. So if you are in a season of self-awareness, be careful which voice you let lead. Do not let shame interpret your awareness. Let wisdom interpret your awareness. Let conviction correct direction. Let compassion keep you honest without making truth feel unsafe. Now I want to give you a practice. This is called shame or conviction. Choose one situation where awareness has been painful. Then write down the sentence you keep saying to yourself. Maybe it is, I should have known better. I stayed too long. I ignored the signs. I let this happen. I cannot trust myself. Now ask, is this sentence attacking my identity or is it correcting my direction? If it attacks your identity, rewrite it. For example, instead of I was stupid, say, I missed a pattern and now I am learning to recognize repetition. Instead of, I am weak, say, I was afraid and now I am building courage with structure. Instead of, I cannot trust myself, say, I am rebuilding self-trust through truthful choices. Instead of, I wasted my life, say, I am turning what I survived into wisdom for my future. Instead of, I always ruin things, say, I am learning a new way to respond. This is how you convert shame into conviction, not by pretending nothing happened, but by refusing to let pain become your identity. Section 8, Part 2, Reflection. Before we close, reflect on these 3 questions. Question 1. Where has self-awareness turned into self-attack? Question 2. What would conviction say instead of shame? Question 3. What direction needs correction now? Do not rush these. Write them down if you can, because your inner voice will either help you mature or keep you trapped. And the counselor path is about learning how to tell the truth without destroying yourself. Closing. This is part 2, shame versus conviction. Remember, shame says something is wrong with me. Conviction says something needs to change. Shame attacks identity. Conviction corrects direction. Shame makes truth feel unsafe. Conviction helps truth become a new choice. So do not use awareness to hate yourself. Use awareness to mature. If this teaching spoke to you, comment growth. If you are ready to let conviction correct your direction, comment conviction. Continue with part 3. Patterns are data. I'm Coach Christian. This is Integrity444 LTQS/EFV. Name the pattern, grow beyond it. And remember, shame attacks identity, conviction corrects direction.